Yeah. You know what else is understandable?
What's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixel. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, is Phil. And on today's show, we are finishing Halo, The Empty Throne.
Hell yeah.
We're going to figure out which throne is empty by the end of this.
I hope so. I can't. They don't make it easy because, Kevin, none of these characters is named a king or a queen.
Yeah.
Jeremy's really, he's taking us for the proverbial ride. Deep satire.
He has taken us for a ride. We are in deep satire land.
Yes.
Which is just right next to Mississippi.
I think so. Yes. Yes. That explains why it's so close to being dead.
Yeah. I mean, it's where, because, Mark Twain would ride up and down the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Between his beloved Mississippi and satire land. And he'd say Mark Twain as he was going up and down on those riverboats.
It wasn't actually a pen name. It's just the thing he shouted to people as he'd go, Mark Twain. They'd be like, who the fuck is that? I think you just told us. Oh, gosh, is that his name? All right. Weird.
Well, he chose it as his pen name because it's of the phrase Mark Twain, which was
very common phrase in those days.
It's like super common thing on riverboats, literally for like 10 years. It's a really specific reference.
Mark Twain. You go, oh yeah, Mark Twain. Mark Twain, everybody.
Mark Twain, everybody.
Mark Twain. Mark Twain.
And then on the other rivers, they would say Samuel Clemens.
Right. Yes.
Which is where he got his birth name.
Kevin, this is just probably one of the smartest shows on the internet. Do you think about that sometimes? We're such clever boys.
More cleverness, you need to go to pixelitpod.com or patreon.com/pixelitpod, because guess what? There's more clever for you. In this week's bonus episode, I try to explain what bonds are.
Oh my God, yeah, that's true. This is really the intellectual Titanic episode.
I try to explain what bonds are. If there's an economist listening, feel free to correct me in whatever I said that was wrong.
Yeah, if you're an economist and you haven't given us $10 or something like that, this is the time to do it.
Here's the thing is, if I know enough to know that I don't know enough, but I have the confidence of a 40-year-old white man, so I'm able to talk about it regardless.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you forget that you have until it comes up and you go, why hasn't anyone put their name in the hat for this? Oh, I'm just an idiot who's confident enough to talk about a thing. I'm
just going to talk about it. I'm talking about it, and I talked about it. You too can talk about it on our Discord, which you can access through patreon.com/pixelpod. You can also give us money. $1, $5, $10, $5 gets you access to the bonus episode, and $10 gets your name shouted out in every episode. And to that end, I want to thank Jesus Loves You, Kyle Seaman, Ruthless Mutter, Middle of Things, Sigma Sal, Chuck Beaks, Demeth, Thick, and Friendly Friend. Thank you for being a friend. If you notice, we lost a couple dear friends on the list over the past couple weeks. So there's plenty. The water's fine. There's plenty of space for you to come in and be a dear friend on our list. Join the bodies in the marsh.
Join them. Join. Don't you want to be a body? Come on.
Don't you want to be a body?
Yeah. We really should call the Discord the body bag.
The body bag.
I think that's where we're at, right?
I think that's where we're at. Maybe I can rename it while we're the Pixelit podcast. I'll just rename it to the body bag while we're on the call today.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Chef's kiss. Beautiful. Speaking of bodies, how about we put this body into the marsh?
When I tell you to dump a body in the marsh, you dump them in the marsh.
Once and for all. Okay. We start at chapter 28. We are back with Severin. He is leading his team on the planet into a barn, basically, because they've been tipped off that it might have the girl, Chloe, the key. he thinks that it might have the team that killed his guards at the North Gate. It's just James. This is the area there, the North Gate where all the people died. He's assuming that this big team took them all out. It was just James Solomon playing, hitman. And so he goes in there. They end up taking out a bunch of farmers who are in power loaders for all intents and purposes. It's a pretty great fight scene, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a power loader. They call a Cyclops or something like that.
Yeah, Cyclops. Great stuff. It's because it's like these are not soldiers, but they've got some level of machinery there, and that's pretty cool. I liked it. After they take these guys out, they hear from another leader that there is a new Covenant force that has joined them. No doubt with Dovo's permission, and this is a betrayal to Severin.
Yes, he was
already feeling very strained in his relationship with his mentor, and he's just about ready to snap. The other leader is going to pull a tattletale basically and tell Atriox, by the way, he's been working with Covenant leader. I think that's literally word for word what he said.
Yeah. Actually, every time I saw the Covenant leader's name, I was like Nyan Cat.
Yeah. I totally see that. Yeah. So, all right. Chapter 29. Speaking of James, we cut to James. He finds out the truth about Chloe in that she is a clone of her mother, Halsey. Right. He basically sees that there's a lot different about her from Halsey. And remember, this is a guy who was an old school Spartan. He knew Halsey. He knew all of this. He knew this life. He knows what she's about and does not see a lot of her in Chloe, which he sees as a good thing.
The intelligence is there, but not the willingness to, kidnap babies and create clones of the babies that melt in front of their parents.
Right. Which I think he's like, you know what? Let's stick with that plan. Let's try and make sure she doesn't become that person. Because it's worked out so well for James. It's a good life for him, obviously. So they are being chased by a bunch of Gravemaker ships. Kind of small drop ships, basically, and he starts taking them out by himself, which pisses them off a great deal. And he faces off against, I've written it again, big ass Arxis, the 3 meter tall Jill Renee or whatever they're called, and who knocks him out long enough to kidnap Chloe and abscond with her. So the Banished have the key.
Yes.
Cut to chapter 30, where at Tulgeron and the Gray team, they are at the Lithos excavation. They're making their way closer to it. And at this point, the Covenant has dropped in, and they're trying to figure out why the hell the Covenant has shown up. The Banished seem just as confused as they are. At least a lot of them do.
Right.
Juran is informed she does not have permission to shoot at Dovo. Because it's too personal. She's going to get in the way. I can't operate on this.
Take the shot.
Exactly. I can't operate on this boy. He's my son. That kind of thing. It's that for all intents and purposes. Right. You're too deep. You're too deep. But she is told to kill Sally Nyan, who is the Covenant war chief. Nyan Cat and Severin's basic rival. They both draw a bead, and just as they're about, it should be the easiest thing in the world because they're literally standing side by side talking to each other. With 2 squeezes of the trigger, they could take out the leaders of both of these enormous armies and save themselves a lot of trouble. And just as that is happening, Soren, the Blade Master, and Merrick, a Spartan, attack everybody. They go total Benedict Arnold and hurt the Spartans very badly before they are killed. Except for Soren. Merrick is
killed. Soren is drop kicked in the chest and launched away, but manages to get away after that.
Exactly. So we have betrayal, and it's pretty brutal already. You can tell this is because I'm not an expert on this universe, but the idea of a Spartan betraying you for the Covenant, that's fucked. Like that is
fucked.
That's a very big deal.
That is a Space Marine joining not chaos,
right? Because they do that a lot, actually.
That is
The Space Marines join chaos a lot. As it turns out, Tau, yes,
the Tau, yes, that's like a Space Marine. That's like, no, I'm not a heretic. I believe in space communism.
Right. It's almost as good as a Space Marine joining the Tyranids. He's just got claws strapped to his arm and starts screaming. That would be a fun story. I'm gonna write that story. Anyway,
I'm gonna write that down. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that one down. All right,
raised by raised by the Nids.
That actually, you know what? I could probably get that into a canon story if it's an orc instead.
Yeah,
because I've been reading some orc stuff. I've never really read a lot of their orc stories and novel stuff. They're fucking great because they've got all that high energy action and shit, but they're fucking hilarious. They allow them to have a lot of fun with it, and it's just a whole other side of that universe. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It's amazing.
It's great. So we cut to chapter 31. Abigail Cole is informed by Oni that everything is FUBAR on the planet. Everything has gone to shit, and it is time to cut their losses and blow up the Lithos. She has 10 minutes. She convinced them to give her 10 minutes to try and convince the drop team down there to get the hell out of Dodge. She is going to open fire on this thing with the mag cannons no matter what.
Yeah. So
the hope is that she can get them to leave in time so that they don't get fucked up over that.
Right. She's not able to get in contact with them.
No.
Right. No. So she's like reaching out to what's it? Is that this chapter?
Yeah, well, yes, it is this chapter. I forget his name, but he's a former Covenant guy.
Right. The other shipmaster. The shipmaster. She's like, hey, can you get in position to make contact with them? We're out of position, and we got to do something that is like terrible. And the shipmaster's like, oh yeah, okay,
okay. And this is also when they tell him, by the way. I think this is when they tell him that they got betrayed down there. They got fucked up, and he's no. It's later. It's later, but
that's
he will
later.
Be pissed. He will be royally pissed because if you remember, this character is all in on the alliance with the humans,
right?
And so this is that is a big fly in the ointment for him. Chapter 32, we cut to Dovo Nesto. I just imagined him kind of like just kind of presenting himself before the Banished and everything. I like to think of him as Jeff Goldblum and as the who's the is it the Game Master or whatever in the Thor?
From Thor Ragnarok,
Yeah. I like to think of him as that guy where he's just like hello, just like totally
he's like, hello, hey,
souped up. Yeah. Hi. Oh, hi. It's good to see you all there. Here comes the Covenant. All right. It's just
Covenant is coming back.
Exactly.
He's just Robert Goulet-ing it down the.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's honest. How we doing? All right. Aren't you happy to see me? You know, the little people need a leader, and that guy is me.
Dovo Nesto. That's right. That's me.
Oh, Dovo Nesto, we do not take you seriously.
We do not take you seriously, Dovo Nesto. You are just not a serious villain.
No, he really shouldn't be. Severin is there. He's pissed, and Dovo has shown up with Sally Nyon, the Covenant leader, and he's feeling, frankly, pretty insecure. It's very much a moment of him feeling like he's been replaced and wondering, did this guy get promised all the same shit I did? I was used, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he lets that fester in his brain until finally, when he gets a chance, he accuses his Discalo of using him. and declares that the Lithos is his and the Banished ours. It belongs to me. And just as Ndovo tries to hit him with a sword, and as he does that, Severin cuts his arm off with his own sword. It's pretty cool. And in that moment, and I've got it written down right here, and everything goes to hell. Because at that point, they were trying for an alliance. They had not yet set it up. But
Dovo really overestimated his ability to talk Severin into doing shit.
Yeah, he really did not think this through. And the moment, and they're just looking. Both sides are itchy and looking for any chance to just start opening fire and getting rid of this other side. And the moment the sword fight goes down, boom, everything's going to hell. Chapter 33, Solomon is chasing Arxis. He's trying to get Chloe back. And this is actually really well written. At this point onward, the chapters start getting shorter.
Yeah.
It's more action scenes, and it's happening with a little bit of overlap, but mostly it's happening
some
in
simultaneous,
order.
some overlap. Yeah.
And as he's chasing Arxis, he sees this in the distance, sees this enormous firefight happening. Has a moment where, oh shit, what the hell is happening over there? Okay,
Jesus Christ, yeah,
right. Yeah, Covenant and Banished are killing each other. Sick. So he sneaks up on Argus and just fucking football tackles him, just drives his shoulder into the guy. We get a fight scene that ends with him forcing Arxis to swallow a grenade. Metal as fucking shit.
And it was just like James walks away and the head explodes until it just gore and viscera just splatters onto his armor.
It's just, and there's a moment where Arxis is like, oh shit, it's that moment. You've seen it in action movies. I've seen it in action movies. It's that moment. He finds Chloe, and then Ariana, the Spartan, finds him. Doesn't realize who he is, but then realizes that it's James, who she's assumed.
James?
Yeah, she's assumed that he's been dead this entire time. And it's kind of gobsmacked. And he tells her, look, if we let Chloe go, this is just a kid. And if we put her in the Lithos, she's going to die or worse. And I can't let that happen. I need you to tell home base, basically, that we both got killed. We got annihilated. And that's that. And Ariana just immediately kind of goes, sick, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love how little convincing he has to do.
She does not have to twist her arm. She's all right, sick. BT dubs, shit's falling apart. You got to get out of here.
Right. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it's pretty great because he makes a comment of I'm not the Spartan you used to know and all that stuff. And because he doesn't feel like that superhero anymore. And she correctly points out, she said, I mean, you're out here risking life and limb to protect an innocent. That's about as Spartan as it fucking gets, my friend. It's a really lovely moment.
It's a great moment. Yeah.
It's very nice. And then she does and I remember this from the early books. She does the
smile. Yeah.
Yeah. They run their fingers across their face plate, and that indicates it's basically their version of a smiley face.
Yeah, because they couldn't it's it was a tone indicator for the Spartan helmet because they couldn't you don't see faces with the helmet on.
Right. It's really neat. It's a very sweet moment. Chapter 34, we've got Juran and the Gray team. They are licking their wounds. Miraculously, most of the people seem in okay order. We get a look into these radioactive rounds, which are fucking cool as shit. They're basically meant to kill heavily armored people like Spartans because they're radioactive and they essentially dissolve in your body, poisoning you. Right. So whereas a normal round might get in it doesn't really do a lot of damage. All this needs is a little bit of penetration and it just poisons you. It's a lot like sleeping with me. And but So we get another pretty kick-ass first aid scene of them digging out the rounds.
It's like Michael is digging out. He's doing the digging, or who's I can't remember which Spartan is digging.
I think it's Michael, and he's
or
digging.
Jai was the one who was shot, right?
Jai was the one who took 6 rounds to the torso.
Yeah.
And so Michael's digging them out before they dissolve entirely. It's like putting in
catching them into the thing, and it's like
it's great. It's like basically
Duran is like, what the fuck is going on?
I know, just like the entire time. It's just more Duran going, what the fuck are these people on? It's like a person who's only ever known coffee seeing people on cocaine. It's just a next level. And so basically they neosporin that shit covered up with memory foam. And they're getting themselves figured out. They're on a top of a roof. They're on a roof of this great big building, and they're watching the firefight. They are very lucky. And this is something that I think is an interesting theme that continues throughout the book for the rest of the book, is that they didn't particularly do anything right. Well, they didn't do anything wrong either. They got fucked over. And in that moment, they should have been swarmed by the Banished and the Covenant and everything like that and killed. If it weren't for the fact that right when that happened, everything went down and the Banished and the Covenant started killing each other. So they actually managed to find, and this happens a lot in a lot of different ways throughout this book. And they managed to find their way to some higher ground. They are way safer than they used to be. And they get, hold on, I have his name written down here. Admiral Jilan, no, that's not him. Vadum, Shipmaster Vadum.
Oh, yeah, Shipmaster Vadum, yeah.
Yes, Shipmaster Vadum contacts them and tells them what we already know of, by the way, you guys need to get the fuck out of there because in about 5 minutes, this whole place is going up and you got to get the hell out of Dodge. We cut to chapter 35. Abigail Cole, her ship they are trying to get into position to fire on the Lithos, and an enemy ship seems to know what they're trying to do and rams them. It takes out a lot of their systems. Their maneuverability is gone as one of the...
Now they're just spinning.
Yeah. As one of the crew says, we are dead in the water. We cannot move. We do find out, this is a beautiful bit of Deus Ex Machina, that the natural gravity, they are now in the orbit of this planet because they're not doing anything about it. The natural gravity and the way they're turning the trajectory will give them one shot in a few minutes. They will be at the perfect point to fire onto the Lithos.
Weapons is like, listen, we're gonna just spin around into the firing solution, and I'm gonna have to program it to just go when we hit that mark. Do I have your permission?
And she goes, I guess so. You got to do it. And they get confirmation from the last half of the team with the funny names. The Paris contingent, they are going to be covering them and giving them the time they need to do all
and
this.
Dying in the process.
Oh, and dying horribly. They are pretty frank about like, you're giving your life to allow us to do this. Like, you're going to die. There's no getting out of this alive. So all of them are going to, all the ships by the end of this book will be gone. Those guys anyway. Chapter 36. Sorry. Hold on. Real quick. As they finally get to that trajectory, that firing point, and just as they fire, they are rammed again, and it goes black basically. So we get, very dramatic moment. Chapter 36, Severin and his captain are in the rubble of Lithos and the surrounding area. The
shot was dead on, balls accurate.
Absolutely. Lithos is gone. And so are a huge amount of both sides of this little conflict. Miraculously, as he points out, Lithos and his captain are both alive, and the captain's like, how the fuck did we survive this? And Severin's like, the gods. Yeah, the gods protected us. Obviously, very confident. Not even if I say that, Kevin, if we are in a war with a group of religious fanatics, let's just say that happens. And I say, we're alive now because of the gods, I want you to know I'm being sarcastic.
Sure.
So I figured I didn't have to say that, but at the same time, important to note.
Gods must be crazy, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't seen that movie fucking forever. So they are making their way out. Severn's his legs are busted up, and they see the Victory ship, the Victory of whatever it's called, Abigail Cole's ship, on the horizon, just coming down. It is on its way down, and he gets this real satisfied feeling from watching it fall out of the sky. They basically what they were doing is they were on drop ships, and they were heading back up into orbit, and the mag blast came down and knocked them out of the sky. They see that Dovo's ship, the same thing happened to them. They were also escaping, and they also got knocked out of the sky. So Severn sees his opportunity for vengeance. He hops into a ghost speeder and just hauls ass across the distance to try and get to Dovo before another ship can try and come and pick him up and save him. He tells his captain, I think it's Cavis, tells him
Cavis
tells Cavis, evacuate everybody. I'm gonna finish what I started. So you guys get the fuck out of here. Chapter 37, we've got Solomon and Chloe. He is hurting. He has been blown to shit at this point. Lola, go on.
They're making their effort. They're getting closer to the ship, and this is when they see more of the grave tenders, right?
Yeah, grave makers. Yeah, they
grave makers. Yeah.
It's his armor so fucked up, and Lola is literally in his helmet going, "I can't help you. You're fucked. Like your armor's fucked up. We could maybe help if we could get to like." Smithy shouldn't say that, but that's what I assume. But for now, there's nothing we can do. So he realizes he's at. He remembers the character he is in this book. Basically, he was never going to get out of this alive.
He was one day from retirement. And
and he knew that. And so he takes his helmet off and he gives it to Chloe so that she can wear it and hear Lola to give her instruction, because Lola has basically got the cataphract, his ship, and it's touched down and they're heading towards there, and Lola can help her get there. So he lets them, they have a really sweet, tender moment, and it's very sweet. And he says, "Go, get out of here," and she runs. We have in what is the weirdest moment in this book. And this is a very long book.
Sure.
What I think might be the way he watches Chloe and the grave makers see her, and they kind of veer off. One of them at least veers off to go get her. And he's like, oh shit. Cause he was kind of counting on them sticking to him because he's a Spartan. He watches in the distance as they touch down, they get out of their ship and they start going towards her. She is making her way to the cataphract. And then what are they called? Panthedrons.
But basically a fucking giant jungle cat comes out.
A bunch of jungle cats come out of the fucking woods, like basically like they must have heard all the commotion, he guesses, and like attacks everybody, slowing the Covenant raiders down, but also running after her, but giving Chloe enough time to, she has a moment, she gets into the ship just as one of the last claws in slow motion just barely clips the back of her foot. That whole thing. So she's saved by Deus Ex Cat.
Deus Ex Pantera.
There you go. It's a really weird moment. And now that they're out of, now that they're not available, everyone starts descending on Solomon. And as he pointed out before, he's wearing armor that if he has a fail safe on it, that will make it's like a mini nuke, essentially. Right. And when they get close enough, he sets the fail safe off.
And this is established in the first James chapter.
Yes. This has been figured for a while. And they basically told you right up front how he was going to die. And he nukes himself and all of them and all their ships, like everyone's boom, gone. So that's a wrap on James. Rest in peace, King.
What a guy, you know?
Great character. I'm a sucker for the like I used to be a good cop and then I fucked up and now I'm drunk and I got one chance to redeem myself. I like that character. I like that trope.
It's Sergeant Al Powell and Die Hard, where he's like, what happened to you? And he's like, I shot a kid.
Right,
and
right.
Like, oh, yeah, you sure did, Al.
Yeah, okay, Al. Yeah.
By the way, that scene in the beginning of Die Hard where Al Powell is at the convenience store and he's buying a whole bunch of Twinkies. The guy is just like standing there judging him and he goes, "They're for my wife." And the guy's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Bag it." The guy at the counter goes, "Big time."
Yeah. He's buying porn or something.
It's like one of my favorite interactions.
God, I need to watch that. I haven't watched that. I honestly haven't watched that movie in like 15 years. I need to watch that again. Oh, man. Okay, chapter 38. Duran is also alive. It's a miracle. All of the named characters after this small nuclear explosion blew up this art. All of our named characters have survived. It's fascinating. So Duran is alive after this blast. She is separated from the Gray Team and everybody else. She sees Dovo and Severin in the distance. She finds a beam cannon, like a sniper rifle, basically, and draws a bead. She sees this as her opportunity to take out Dovo. But before she can shoot, she's attacked by Blade Master Soren, who shows up. And they have this big, it's a very, you seem a good fellow, I hate to kill you. You seem a good fellow, I hate to die, kind of thing. Like there's Soren is an old mentor figure for Duran, and so he's sad to do this. And showing this, they're on top of an old crashed ship, I think, something like that, and she loses her footing and she's about to fall off, and instead of shooting her, stabbing her, or something like that, he just kind of breaks her hand and lets her fall off. He doesn't kill her outright.
Right.
So she drops to the side of the perch and he disappears. He's gone. She gets radio from Stolt. What is the name of the little guys?
Was
Ungnoy
he
or something like that?
Was he an Ugnoy or a Kigyar? I can't.
No, he's an Ugnoy. He's an Ugnoy.
Yeah.
So she hears from Stolt and he says, we could use your help if you're available. She has no weapons. Her hand is broken and she's fucked up beyond everything, physically and mentally fucked right now.
Right.
But she still says, "Yep, I'm on my way." Chapter 39, we come back to Abigail Cole. She is on the Victory. They are in free fall. Miraculously, and I'm going to say that again, miraculously, we get Deus Ex stabilizers.
The stabilizers kick back on just
enough.
Just enough to stop them from free falling and just shattering against the atmosphere of the planet, basically.
Right. And they have just enough juice that they can go for an emergency landing, and they find this kind of frozen area on the planet. They make their way down. They hit the ice sheet, and it's a huge crash. And Abigail once again blacks out,
and she's out again. Yeah,
she's out again. Exactly, the easy way. And
except Billy Zane,
except instead of Billy Zane, it's her dad,
played by Billy Zane.
I would hope so. I would hope Billy Zane would play my dad. That'd be cool as shit. Fuck yeah. So she has a dream of her father, and they kind of have a brief hash out well, you left us. I know, and I shouldn't have left you, and I let you down, but I love you and I miss you, and I love you and I miss you. It's a really sweet dream.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy. This is basically, the second to last episode of Game of Thrones, where everyone has a chance to like hug and like, tie up loose ends and shit like that and say, I always loved you, right before everything goes to shit, or right after in this situation.
Right.
So we cut to chapter 40. Severin ambushes Dovo's party, basically runs a bunch of his guards over with the ghost. Gets into a sword fight with Sally Neon and cuts his head off. Pretty metal shit.
Yeah.
Before he can, and he sees Dovo's scared to death. He is genuinely horrified and frightened. And before he can do anything, he is run through from behind by Soren, the Blade Master. So Soren is just
enemies, picking up enemies. He is all over the place. He is
very good. Yeah.
He shot Jai a bunch of times, got away. Fought his protege, and then won, and then killed. Well, didn't kill, but fucked up Severin quite a bit.
And just runs Severin through. Like, where's Soren's story? I want to read story. This guy's he's just the old badass. Like, holy shit! I know he's a bad guy, but holy fucking shit. And Soren helps. He goes to Dovo and helps him escape. As they escape, Severin is left just basically thinking, okay, I'm gonna die. This is how I die. All right, got it.
Yeah.
And just as he's gonna breathe his last, his captain Cavis shows up in a ship and rescues him. Says, you're not dying on me. Yeah, exactly. Gets one of those moments. Okay, we're gonna get a lot of little
quick chapters.
Yeah,
it's
quick
like
chapters.
50 quick chapters right now.
Yep. Yeah. Right. It's actually exactly it. Chapter 41. Lola and Chloe are on the cataphract. They are heading to Sun Terrero, which was if you remember, I think from our first episode, it's like a moon that he found that he said, when I retire, I'm going here. I'm going to live here.
It's the moon. It's basically like the moon in Avengers Endgame where Thanos retires to.
That's exactly it. Leave me alone. I'm on a moon by myself.
Yeah.
I love this, by the way. It tells you how much Lola cares about him as an AI. When he says, this is where we're going, when it's time to retire, she erases all military and administrative knowledge of this planet from, as they point out, everything she has access to and, quote unquote, things that she doesn't formally have access to.
Right.
She breaks the rules to make sure that no one can come in. How cool is that? Like,
it's so cool. It's also a very, it's also not to be the guy, and you've made me this guy, is the guy who brings up 40K when it's a very 40K thing to be like, we don't know how to get back to, like, we don't have the route anymore to get back to that planet. It's gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
The warp doesn't let us go there anymore. But instead of the warp, it's just, shit. Somebody deleted it from all the databases.
Yeah. If James had made it, this would have been, an Easter egg in like Halo 12. Somewhere down the way, where you would have shown up on this place, found an empty cabin and a skeleton, and would have garnered from journal entries that it was this guy.
Just a skeleton, and it's just in a rocking chair with like the remains of a cigar and whiskey or something like that.
Exactly. That's just what it was. He and Lola were just going to grow old together. That's all it was. That was the plan. And now Lola's like, well, we're heading there, Chloe. And thank God Chloe's down, because that's a heavy thing to put on a kid's like, this planet is all ours and we're never going to see anyone ever again if things go well. And Chloe's
Would you like that, Chloe?
Right. Do you want that? You'd better.
Because we're going
because we're doing it. But Chloe says, yeah, sounds good. Thankfully. So they're heading to that planet. Chapter 42, Spartan McEndon and Stolt are in a huge rubble area. Stolt has been he's pinned by a bunch of fallen debris. McEndon, who is not doing well, uses his dying breath, basically his last ounce of strength, to lift the debris and save him.
Spartan juice to clear the debris, and then he falls over dead. Has a pretty good introspective moment of like, oh man, if like me from like just 20 years ago saw me dying to save this alien, he would have been like, what the fuck is going on? So he saves Stolt and dies. Was McEndon a Spartan too?
Yeah, he was a Spartan.
No, I mean Spartan -2.
Oh, like, a Spartan 2.
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
Okay.
But let me look it up. I want to look it up.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm always curious as to who is the Spartan 2s versus the Spartan 4s, because the Spartan 4s could be any schmuck from off the street who volunteers.
Right, which they point out with Merrick after he betrays them.
It's like Merrick was a guy that went through the process, and he has all of these biases built in.
Right.
Whereas the Spartan 2s were basically tabula rasa, built from scratch,
which is hideous and immoral, but also guarantees almost that they're not going to betray you. So at least there's that. I don't think so. I'm not seeing anything, which makes me think he's a Spartan 4.
Got it.
But yeah. So, cut to chapter 43. Duran finds Stolt's location. He is surrounded by a bunch of leftover Covenant people. She's like, why do they want you? And he goes, I don't know, man. Like, I don't understand anything about the Covenant, let alone why they're still trying to kill me at this point. What's the fucking point? I have no idea. And then we get the surprise of her life when the Gray Team, everybody, all your favorite characters, Jai and Michael and Ariana, they're all there. And they just take out the rabble who have surrounded the area. The ODSTs, if you remember, way long ago when this whole mission started, the ODSTs went off on their own mission. They have returned. Makes me wonder if that's not in Halo Infinite, or if it's I
have no idea, or it's just
DLC they're planning or something. Because that could be excellent. That could be because they point out like a bunch of them are dead. But they come back. They've clearly succeeded in their mission. Their whole mission was like to take over artillery and shit.
Yeah, they did a thing off camera. The ODSTs did something.
Yeah, and I think
hold on, I gotta let it brighten out.
Oh yeah. Brighton, sweet baby. I think that would make a pretty kick-ass, novel of its own or something like that. And the way they wrote makes me wonder if that's not exactly their plan.
That's what I was saying. They leave some threads open, with this book.
Yeah. Oh, there are lots of threads. Yeah, there's
plenty of threads.
For as many people who die, as many people who die, there's still plenty to work with here. The ODSTs show up in a condor, and they load everybody on. But before they're leaving, they are going to head to the Victory, which has crashed, and they're going to collect survivors and take them to safety.
Right.
Chapter 44. 2 weeks later, Abigail Cole wakes up in a hospital room on the moon.
The moon.
She is debriefed by her superior officers. She finds out the Victory lost 27% of its crew, which is almost 500 people, but it's still a goddamn miracle.
It's better than 100%. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, which is what it was looking like. So hell, like roughly a quarter, man. And they say that her commanding officers are like, that is an amazing victory. And of course, Cole's like, no, I'm sad those people died. It's like, okay, fair enough. We get the rundown. The ships with the funny names all dead, but provided her with enough cover to blow up the Lithos. The Lithos is eradicated. It is that part of the mission is complete.
Right.
we get a lot of talk of like, well, let's make sure that the families of the people we lost know that this was a success, even though it was only kind of a success.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a win.
It's a win. Yeah. If we didn't get this cool weapon, but nobody else did either. So that's good.
Right.
So, half of one, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. She's debriefed and she is told that like basically we need you back in the saddle as soon as possible because we need you to hunt down Severin because he is still out there and he's going to be making trouble for us. So that's the next novel. Like that's the next novel right there.
Let's get some Abigail Cole going after Severin stuff.
Ooh, that'll be good shit. That'll be a fun naval battle one. I'd really love that.
Yeah.
I'd read the fuck out of that. Are you listening, Jeremy? Write that. Chapter 45, Shipmaster Vadum. He finds Juran on the ship. She is not doing great. She's hurting physically, but more than physically hurt, she is psychologically damaged. The betrayal really fucked her up.
The emotions are hot.
Hot emotions, big time. Vadum does what any good mentor does in a moment like this and pulls a Goodwill Hunting. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Right.
Don't do this to me, man. Like, that whole thing happens. It seems to work. Well, it kind of works. Like, Juran is like, yeah, I know, but it still fucking sucks and it's not helping. So Juran, that's where we leave Juran, like alive, but physically mentally unwell. So that could be very interesting where we're going with her later on.
Right.
Chapter 46, we have Severin flying through the ruins of his former planet, finally revisiting this place. And I liked this because way earlier when it happened, they actually make a point of him saying, I will have time to mourn my people later. For now, I got a fucking mission. This is him giving himself time to mourn.
Right.
It's actually really cool. And to make it even cooler, he's like Darth Vader the fuck out.
Yeah. He's been Darth Vader, Corpse
Power
Emperor.
armored. Yeah.
He is basically dead. For all intents and purposes, he's more machine now than man.
Yeah, he should not be alive. He's got a machine that like forces him to breathe because his lungs can't, breathe.
His lungs can't do that anymore.
Right. Yeah. They're literally like, the lungs don't do that. So you need this. But the cool thing is he's in power armor and shit. So he's in
power armor he can never take off.
Yeah, he's a pissed off dreadnought is what he is. We're going to bring up 40K for the 40,000th time. And in this moment, he vows to rebuild the Banished and to kill Dovo. So that's where we leave him. So we get that little moment. Chapter 47, we cut to, speak of the devil, Dovo Nesto. He's got his team together. Everyone's happy he's alive, but disappointed that the mission failed. And Dovo Nesto tells them that they have a new plan. They need a new plan and says, what do you know about Cloister? And Cloister is the planet where his people, where the prophets, the leaders, all evacuated to when everything went to shit. So we don't get the details specifically, but the implication is that the Covenant is going to find all the other leadership that is gone now and rebuild with the OG leadership team in the saddle. That's where they're headed now, back to Cloister. Chapter 48, we get to Admiral Gillen Al Signy, who works for Oni Intelligence. Oni is intelligence, works for Oni. On board the Acadian, investigating the ruins of the Lithos for anything they can glean. Everything is demolished and destroyed. It's vaporized, but anything they find would be helpful. They're obviously very disappointed because they wanted all the information they could have gotten from the Lithos and domain and everything like that. But it's at least they're trying to comfort themselves with, well, at least Covenant doesn't have it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we got a very vague, super secret transmission.
Super secret.
Super secret. We don't find out what the transmission says.
It
but we
says, drink your Ovaltine.
Ovaltine? Son of a bitch. So we don't know what it says really, but we know that it implies that they are going after Dovo. They are not done with him, and that more mysterious things are
and
just
that they
around the
have
corner.
Somebody on the inside with Dovo.
Yes, that they have. Yeah, they do have. They have a spy of some kind, which makes me. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
It makes me wonder. Is it the Swordmaster? Like, did they convince the Swordmaster to like
he's got to, and that's why he did all the stuff that he did, because he has to look like, but he also let Jiren survive. Maybe.
Yeah, like
maybe.
Maybe.
There's something there. And because during the sword fight between Jiren and Soren, Soren's like, why are you on the Covenant side? And Jiren doesn't tell her why. He just says, you don't get to ask me these questions.
Right.
What you don't have the right to ask me these questions, and I don't need to tell you why.
Yeah.
So it is very vague.
And
so that's probably what we're dealing with. Yeah. If I had to guess. And that's the end. That's the end of the book. We end on a mystery wrapped inside of a mystery. Kevin, what did you think? What did you think of Empty Throne?
I loved it. I think it's a really good companion piece. I think there's like two. So I haven't played Halo Infinite. I keep every time we read a book set around Halo Infinite. I think we have to at
this point. Yeah.
It's like I'll play it eventually, but I never do. So because apparently it references, like, there's a specific part of Halo Infinite where Cortana basically goes offline or deletes herself or whatever, and that's when the Guardians cease to function. In the one moment in the last chunk of the book that we were talking about. Which is why kind of like it's like 3/4 of the way through the book, it's like, oh, we need to do this because it will stop
That's
Cortana.
Where we are. Yeah.
But we're like, okay, well, it seems like Cortana's not doing anything now, but so we need to do this so that the Banished or the new Covenant don't get it, you know?
Yeah. It's yes. And I'm glad because you actually texted me that I was literally going to look it up and go, wait, because we never find out. They never say outright, yes, Severn's correct. Cortana has been defeated, quote unquote. That's why all the Guardians just stopped. Never says that, never actually says it. So I was like, so is that what happened? And then Kevin texted me and basically confirms, like, yeah, that's what happens in the game. Like, that's when she did it.
Right.
So that's really interesting because you're right. It is as a companion piece. It is a Covenant piece, but as a companion piece to, it's, you can see where the parallels happen.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
pretty interesting.
And like, cause I know there's like a whole bunch of stuff with Atriox getting wounded in Halo Infinite, like nearly killed, and Severin is like basically the same thing happens to him, and Severin was like the second in command in this. But also just overall, I just really like this book. So many good action sequences.
Oh my God. Yes.
When Soren and the Spartan like turn out to be like traitors, I'm like, it was a literal gasp moment. I did not see it coming.
I feel the same way. It totally took me off guard. Absolutely.
Tulgeron becomes a character who is really annoying at the beginning to somebody who you really like by the end. James is just good guy James. You know, he's coming to grips with everything he's ever done. He's trying to get out of this job, and he just at the right moment he sees an old friend, and she's like, well, like, you're still a Spartan. Like, all being said, you still exemplify what the Spartans were for. And he dies pretty peacefully, knowing that he took a bunch of Gerald Hanane assholes with him with his
Yeah.
nuclear armor.
Yeah, saved an innocent person one last time and fucking killed the shit out of some bad guys. So
Killed the shit out of some bad guys.
can't go much better.
Yeah. So and it's also it's another thing where it's like, Jeremy, if you have been listening along, I think you need to write more books.
Yeah, this is ridiculous for a
because
first book.
listen, obviously he was amazing at being the Bible keeper, the story editor.
Those are two different things. Like,
yeah, two different
Yeah.
things.
Wow.
But this is just, coming out and flexing like this is for your first novel is a big deal.
I guess, it's kind of absurd to have, your first novel be 500 pages long and it to be this stuff full of goodies. Yeah, I totally agree. I think if I had one complaint, I think the endings became a little too Deus Ex Machina for me. There were a lot of moments where they just got lucky. And I can deal with that when it's once, maybe twice. But it kept happening, and I was just like, "Oh, guys, I think we can do better than that."
Yeah, I think especially with Abigail Cole's ship, there should have been like even if that was like I don't know, write something in there to just be like, it's like Abigail remembers something from her early days as a lieutenant, and she like goes to the deck into the guts of the ship herself and rewires some shit and gets the,
absolutely
something like that. Throw that in there instead of
anything like that would have been great. Yeah.
We're lucky this happened. We're lucky this happened. We're lucky this happened.
Right. And it says something that the quality of the book was such that when that happened, it made me roll my eyes a little bit, but I still was like, this is still a damn good book. This is still an exciting book. The action scenes are great. The characters are so well fleshed out and developed. Lots of really good stuff in this. I do love how amazingly foobarred the mission goes at the end. Like, 0 out of no one's goals on anyone's side were accomplished. None whatsoever. And I think you're totally right. That is fucking mental. Like how bad it all goes. One of the oldest rules in the book for writing is kill your darlings, put your characters through hell. And Jeremy did that. Like, he said, yes, I will do that. And holy shit. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, no, I loved it. You have any other thoughts on the book yourself? Or
no. I think it's just another example of anytime we get a Halo book, my instant reaction is, well, this is a freebie. This will be nice and easy. That's great.
Be an easy one to roll through.
Yeah, and it was. It's just terrific. It's another really good one. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I'm a bicycle. Yeah, great stuff.
I didn't even realize that there's an extra chapter at the end.
What?
After the about the author.
Oh, I totally missed that. Can you help us out? I fucking missed that.
I missed it too. Hold on. I'm reading through it right now. The night sky was filled with dozens of burning vessels, their debris strewn throughout the atmosphere as a vast graveyard, towering masses of titanium blasted down to their skeletal frames, adrift among fractal-like nanolaminate hull plating belonging to a variety of alien craft. Fighters dodged and weaved through the debris on strafing runs to shake off pursuers, while other ships continued to fire at one another with everything they had. A great battle was taking place here, but it was nearing its conclusion. All he needed to do was observe that it did. How odd it was to reconnect with the galaxy in this way after so long and still find it so rife with conflict. Neural transmission simply didn't allow his essence to travel into this plane of reality, but he connected his own consciousness to the lives around him. He could feel the tangle of their perspectives, their hatreds and hopes, their lives and loves and loyalties, and their passing into the cosmos. He took a moment to find himself amidst the chaos, for it was far too easy to get lost among them. At the center of it all, one human ship was moving through the scattered shell of all the others, light erupting around it as another vessel pursued it on an intercept course. Neural travel had shown numerous possibilities and outcomes for this moment, but all that mattered was the singular eventuality that would take shape. 2 strikes flashed from the bow of the human ship just before its pursuer collided with it. Too late, as the horizon was engulfed in fire. He sensed thousands of lives passing in that moment. The structure they had fired upon then burst into a pillar of light that tore into the sky, clouds swirling around it as several dozen ships were instantly vaporized. Others were severely damaged, either cast adrift or sent on a collision course with the planet's surface, their atmospheric entry vectors blazing with streaks of fire like shooting stars. Dawa Madthu, he whispered, though there was nobody to hear him. He could already feel the domain tugging at him, as if it were a safety cord warning him to pull back. Indeed, his presence in this place had begun to fade with the destruction of the gateway and the loss of so much life to connect to. No matter, he had witnessed what he needed. His mission was complete. Fortencho closed his eyes and allowed his consciousness to be buoyed along the steady tide of living time, finding himself back in the domain's anterior as he opened his eyes. More and more, this place was starting to feel like home. A smile tugged at the corner of his mouth as he saw a great hulking figure sitting on a rock a short distance away. Fortencho approached and settled down next to him without saying a word, content to quietly observe by his side as the sun was rising over the horizon.
Oh, shit. We had a callback there.
Yeah, so Fortencho was the human guy from way back when.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. With who the Didact met in the
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of that the book that was set in the domain. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The motherfuckers did a credit sequence. Holy shit! They found a way to do it with the book.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
Because when I see about the author, I usually stop, and then I was just flipping through the book, and I was like, wait a minute.
There it is. There it is. Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Well, that's even more exciting. Okay. I love that because I was wondering if we were going to see the Didact at some point here,
right?
In some way, shape, or form. So that's pretty cool. I like the sound of that. That sounds really good.
Fortencho Oberun.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic news. I'm super into that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another really damn good book. Wow. Motherfuckers. With your good books.
With your good books.
God damn it. Anyway, now that my rage over this being Jeremy's first book is somewhat subsided, Kevin, I have a single question to ask you.
Yes.
What are you playing?
Oh, okay. So this past week I have been playing Blueprints, and that's about it.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about Blueprints. I've heard a little bit about that one.
Yeah. So Blueprints, you play as a kid. He's like a 14-year-old kid who was the nephew of some eccentric, reclusive billionaire who leaves you his estate. But it is in his will, it's said that you only get to keep it and the riches if you are able to find the 46th room inside of the estate. And so the first day that you go in, you open you're in the main hallway, right? The foyer, and you go in and there's 3 doors. And as you open the door, you're then presented with 3 plans of what the next room is going to be. And then it's at random, and you choose it, and then that room builds out, and you go into it, and you can go through that room, and then you can go into it through the door on the other side of the room, and it'll basically rinse and repeat. Okay. As you build out the home, you will find a variety of different types of rooms. So early on, you'll find things like a den or a living room or a book nook or a kitchen or a pantry or what have you. And they all have different like layouts. Some are like there's a door on the south side and it goes up and it exits on the west side, or it exits on the east side, or there will be rooms with doors that exit on all four sides. And but you only get the option of 3 rooms each time you open a door. And it's drawn at random from a stack of basically plans or cards that you can choose from. And you can only use 1 room at a time until you upgrade your rooms later. And then you'll be going, and then on the first day, you'll run into a dead end. Or you'll plan rooms wrong and be like, well, I can't go any further, and you'll call it a night.
Yeah.
And then day 2, you go back into the mansion and you open the door, and all the rooms that you did before are no longer there. You plan new rooms again. So it's like roguelike Myst.
Interesting. Okay.
Because each of the rooms also has will also have like puzzles.
Right.
And sometimes they'll have like little, like you'll find paper in there and you'll read notes and things like that, and you take down like, oh, okay, this guy said this. And sometimes there will be a clue in that note that you find in one room that helps you solve a puzzle that you find in a different room.
Okay.
It is intense, man.
I was gonna say, that sounds exhausting. Like,
it's a lot. And like, I really like it, but also at times it's one of those games where I'll do a run. It's a roguelike, so you're basically doing a run. It's a, architecture roguelike. You'll do a run and you'll be like, oh man, that really took it out of me. I'm done for now.
Right. Yes, I think that's a thing with roguelikes, where it's like sometimes in most roguelikes you get the kind of the let just one more turn feeling.
Right.
But every now and then you get one where you're like, that was great, I need a break.
Right. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
I've had that several times, and I understand why people love this game. Like, it is the indie darling of the year. But I also understand why people bounce off of it, because the first few rounds that you go through it, you have, especially if you're going in blind, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. Like, you're just like, oh, I'm trying to figure out which of these rooms is room number 46, right? Right? Please. Of course, it's a lot more involved than that. Like, you are trying to, there's like all these little mysteries that pop up that you're trying to solve as well. I mean, I've put, 12 hours into it, but let's say it's probably more like 9, because I believe I left it open on the pause menu.
Oh, sure.
For a few hours at one point. So I put in about 9 hours. And I know for most folks, it takes like 15 to get through the story. Like, you get to the end of the main mystery. So, and I feel like I might be getting there. I'm not, but that's the thing with roguelikes. You're like, you're also not sure. Like, I have made progress.
Right.
But have I?
Yeah, you have no idea. And I can see where that would be frustrating after a while.
So yeah, I'm getting close, I think, to the end of the main storyline in it, and then it's basically you can just keep playing after that, because there's a lot of other little mysteries to unravel.
Okay.
I know Jason Schreier has said he has like 100 some hours into the game. He finished the main quest at like 17 hours.
Holy shit.
But he's still going, which is wild.
Lord, that is crazy.
Yeah. It's bananas is what it is.
Holy shit.
But yeah, no, so Blueprints is what I've been playing over the past week. I have unlocked 0 achievements.
Oh wow! Okay,
it is
not even an achievement to your name.
Not even an achievement to my name. It is stingy on the achievements. There's 16 achievements. I've gotten 0 after 10 hours.
Wow. Okay, that is rough. As a guy who cannot help himself when it comes to achievements, I try very hard to get.
You like a little Chivo,
Yeah, that's rough. Holy shit. Okay. I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. I'm keeping an eye on it. Maybe when it's on sale or something like that, I'll give it a little.
If not, then watch Northern Line play it. He's playing it. It's a very enjoyable playthrough. He apparently was able to beat it in 10 hours. Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's all right. Just from what I've heard about that sounds amazing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, right. Phil, what are you playing?
Oh, well, I'm still playing No Skin. I've gotten through a lot of it. It's confusing. It's getting a little weird at the end. Big shocker. Where I feel like there's a lot more to it than I expected there to be. I've unlocked everything that I can, and there's a lot of luck involved in this, and it's still very interesting, but I took a break. It was just, after a while, it's one of these things where it gets real samey. I think that happens with a lot of these kind of roguelikes where like you hit a wall for a minute where you're doing the same thing over and over again, and finally you just need that one crack to happen so you can slip through and get a bunch of new shit.
Right.
I feel like I'm at that point. Whatever. Whatever. I played a demo. It's a prologue. This is what a lot of people are doing with their demos. It's for a game called Infection Free Zone.
Okay.
This is by a studio that did a game I really liked called 911 Simulator or 911 Operator.
Okay.
Where it's just like it says on the tin, you get phone calls and you have to dispatch cops or firemen or something else, or an ambulance or something like that,
right,
to different places based on what people tell you. And it starts out, it's one of those games kind of like what's it called? Cook serve something where these
it's
cook serve delicious,
like overcooked or whatever.
Yeah, that too. Where it's like there is a level of relaxation here, but the longer it goes on, the more stressful it becomes. And I really liked that game. I put in a lot of time with that game.
Right.
This is the same studio did that, and it is a city builder zombie game. Nothing too special on the face of it, but I was intrigued because this one, like the 911 Operator, one of the things that they're developing it's a little thing, but it's fun. You can literally play in any city. Like they're using satellite technology and shit
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you could pick a city and you have when basically you start out as a team of survivors and you're slowly clearing out different buildings and turning them into, housing or whatnot. And then eventually you building farms and the night comes down and you might have to deal with zombies during the day, but at night they're ravenous and that whole thing. And honestly, I should like this a hell of a lot. And I did. That's the thing. I really dug it. I was having a lot of fun with it. It has a very good loop to it. It's very satisfying. The UI is dog shit. It is, and I haven't left a review on a game in a while. And I left a review on the prologue here so that the studio will read it. Like, that was the whole reason I left. I want them to read it. Because this game would have been in my library. I would have paid money down. It's an early access game, and I don't tend to spend money on early access games until they're done.
Yeah. I
would have put my money down. I would be coming to you with 20 hours of that game under my belt right now. If the UI wasn't so shitty, it barely ever makes sense, where it's like you kind of have to trial and error to figure out how this button works and how do I get these people here. Build up you've got this one main base and you've got a bunch of people in it and too many people. And so your first thing that you really need to do is you need to take some of the abandoned buildings around you and slowly convert them into residences so that people can spread out a little bit. And I do that. I've built a bunch of houses and stuff, and no one will move. We've got the houses. So I'm like, How do I move them? There's got to be a thing. I check the discussions. People are asking the same questions. It's all the UI. There's an interesting quest system. There's a good city builder loop in there with some brutal combat. The combat is hard. You do not want to fight the zombies if you can avoid it. This is not a good idea. At least at the point in the game that I was in, you want to avoid it at all possible costs. But you've got this. You can find an abandoned car and see if you can get it to work. And if you can get it to work, that gets you to missions faster and gets you around the area faster. You can find abandoned weapons that'll make things better for you. It should be a slam dunk, and the UI fucking hamstrings it. On a level that I like. You know me. I am a UI like.
See,
I knew you'd get it. That's the thing.
I am a UI guy. Like you like. Don't put out your demo. Like, listen. Gameplay elements, fucking graphics might not be final. I will. Sure.
Whatever.
Like that is whatever. Mm-hmm. The UI being bad, to me, is a worse indicator of the kind of care and effort that is being put. The UI to me is the red M&Ms.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's the canary in the fucking coal mine. A bad UI is the canary in the coal mine for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that fair? I don't know, but it is a bad. Like that is how people actually access your game. Like
yeah.
Like so if it's like, oh man, the novel is great, but oh god, like the cover is made out of like safety pins. It's
right. Yeah. When you get used to the pain of all the thumbtacks they've put on the pages, there's a really good story in there. It's like, you know what? I think I'll skip that. I think I'll skip it.
But what do you want from the sequel to House of Leaves?
Right. You know what? I read House of Leaves. I don't want anything from House of Leaves. I feel like I'm one of the only people who was not terribly impressed by that book.
All right, it's fine. And be like, oh, great, another layer.
Cool, awesome. Oh, and now I have to turn it in circles to read it. Ooh. Anyway, I feel like I saw someone say once that House of Leaves is the what is that impossible book that everyone. Infinite Jest. I heard someone say that House of Leaves is the infinite jest for the horror world, where half the time people have read it and they claim that they loved it because it was because of the sunken cost fallacy. And I couldn't agree more. There was some. I'm not going to shit on it too hard. There was some great stuff in there, but I didn't have the patience for it.
Next week we will be having an interview with House of Leaves author Mark Danielewski. So
I'm looking forward to it. I have a lot of things I want to say. No, but this game, and that's the thing. It's still in early access. Yeah. So that's why I left the review. I want very bad. And the thing is, the recent reviews, if you go to the full game, they're very positive. They've done very well. I'm hoping that maybe that was just the prologue and they haven't updated it, which is that's a bad idea, folks. If you fixed a problem in your full game and you didn't fix it in the demo, you gotta. You can't. That's insanity. You have, because that's a lot of our first option for like playing this thing.
Right.
But yeah, I want this game to. I'm keeping this game on my wish list. I'm going to check on it now and then because I want to play this game.
Do you want it to be good?
I want it to be user friendly, and it just isn't right now. The other game I'm playing. Oh, this is a fun one. This is speaking of interesting UI. I'm playing a game called Universe Horizon. This is another clicker. It's I think $4 or $3. Okay. It's like basic 8-bit graphics. You are in a spaceship and you are flying through the solar system. And as you reach different points in the solar system, the moon, Mars, etc., there are different things that you can mine there. and you mine them, and they unlock different abilities. It's clicker shit.
Right.
And if that's not something you like, that's fine. And that's the thing. I played 2 clicker games this year, and both of them were really interesting for different reasons. And this one, there's something kind of lovely about it. It's very relaxing. There's a very Star Trek, you're not there to blow up aliens and shit kind of vibe to it. The music, it makes me think of Balatro in the sense that it's kind of the same 30-second loop, but you still enjoy it. Yeah. And I'm at this point, I'm at Neptune, which means I'm drilling for water and shit like that. And I've seen, based on the achievements, it does not end when you get out of the solar system. So I'm really very curious to see how far this goes. It keeps playing when you're not on. So which can be overwhelming. You'll hop on there and go, oh shit, there's all this other stuff. Oh my
God.
I gotta
Things
catch
happened.
up. Yeah, exactly. But it's a nice little game to have playing when you're listening to a podcast or just dicking around or something like that. If I wasn't in charge of the book today, I would have probably had it on the background while we were talking. Because it's just like a lot of these clickers, you start clicking and then you find a way to automate it, and you're investing silicone to get more aluminum, and when you get enough aluminum, you're investing in iron, and it's all in the name of making your ship faster. And as your ship goes faster, you unlock more things. You unlock things simply by traveling a certain amount of kilometers. Your next upgrade will say, yeah, you can click on this and have it when you hit 25 million kilometers or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know. There's something about it that sometimes these games stress me out a lot.
Yeah.
Clickers stress me out a lot sometimes. This is not one of them. I'm finding something very relaxing about it.
Do you lose if you attempt to make a landing on Europa?
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't. I wrote them and asked them to please implement that. But
I mean,
but here's the.
Yeah.
But I passed it when I wasn't playing, so I could be wrong. Maybe it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been told make no landing there, but
right. Yeah. This is going to be a tough week for this one, by the way, because my wife and I agreed that this week we're going to have an analog week.
Okay.
We're gonna come home. I'm gonna come home. We have dinner, and we've been having family dinners with the kid. It's been really nice. And then after we put him to bed, we play board games, or we can play cards, or we can just talk, or we can work on our projects, and that sort of thing. But no games, no movies. Screens off, just to give us. And this game, so that means basically, unless I cheat, the next time I open this game up is going to be Friday night or something like that, and I'm going to be like, oh shit, I'm out of Alpha Centauri. What happened?
Boy,
this is going to be a tough one. but I think it's $3. It's so cheap. It's $2.99. It's just kind of nice. The goal is just to reach as far as you can, get as far into the universe as you can. I've seen some things on the discussion boards where people are like, "Yeah, I made it to the end. There is an ending." It's really interesting. I like it. It's very relaxing. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing. That's me.
I totally forgot to mention the one thing I played and beat was a game about digging a hole.
Oh, how did you like? I've got my eye on that one. How did you like that one?
It's so silly.
Right.
It's not long at all. And I was like, so I'm looking at it and I was like, well, that's interesting. It's tagged horror for some reason.
Oh no. That's always a bad sign. You're like,
why? Anyway, I'm gonna start digging. So I dug and I got to the bottom of the hole. And I beat the game. And there was nothing wrong at the bottom of the hole.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I was
there's
getting
nothing wrong down
nervous. That must have been a mistake then.
It was a mistake on the hard tag. There's absolutely nothing down there.
That's good.
Wrong.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong down there.
Nothing wrong.
It's all fine.
That's fine. Everything's fine. How are you?
Everything's fine. It's all fine down here. How are you?
How are you?
But yeah, it's just this. I don't know. I'm playing it, and it's one of those. I'm like, why did I do that? But I gotta. Maybe I'll write something someday, examining why. Well, much like Jack Black says in the Minecraft movie, as a child he yearned for the mines. Why, as a dad, I yearn for the games that are menial tasks.
I noticed that too. Like was it last year or the year before? Like that was when you started with Power Washing Simulator.
Yes.
And I was playing a lot of Lawn Mowing Simulator.
Why?
While my actual lawn just fucking
fucking sat there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Vietnam by the time I was done with that game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but I've noticed it too.
Why do I yearn for the mundane? Is that an essay that I write one day? Who knows? Maybe. I swear I was out of that game. But it's something that's been on my mind recently because I just had to examine myself. I was like, what?
Why?
Why?
Yeah. No, I totally feel that.
It's a game about digging a hole. Literally, it is what it says on the tin, except for the bottom of the hole, which is fine. There's nothing down there. It's all good
everything's
down
fine.
there.
So what's the problem? Everything's fine.
I was so excited to see that the company that makes Power Washer Simulator announced Power Washer Simulator 2.
Oh, there we go. This is
my white whale here.
This is how Kevin parties. This
is how I party. I'm gonna fire it up and just really, I really wish the Steam Deck was waterproof. I'll tell you what.
Sure.
Because
just so you could fully experience.
Well, no, so I could take that bad boy into the bath, light a few candles, sit in the bath with some Power Washer Simulator. Doesn't that set your mind right?
Honestly, that sounds excellent. I don't think they realize what a gold mine they're sitting on if they were able to develop a waterproof fucking Steam Deck. The dads and the moms would fucking buy every last one of them.
Every last one of them.
Oh my God.
So before we finish tonight, Phil, have you ever noticed that when you put the garbage out, sometimes you get naked mole rats?
Oh yeah, sure. It's funny because
they're a little bit more aggressive than raccoons, I've noticed.
They are. I think. All right. I think it has something to do with their nudity. That sounds like a joke, but I'm actually being serious. And there was a great quote from Robert Louis Stevenson about it. He said,